Actually, I'm from Rich 52. So, what is Rich 52? Actually, in this pandemic period, there are a lot of health issues that is coming. Even if we are influenced with the political or economical way, we are not able to get a proper medicines on time. Because of this, there are a lot of people who are died. We all know these things. So, what we are actually who we are. So basically, Reach 50 is a product-based company. Our main goal is to serve the rural areas with the healthcare. So when we start with the startup companies, right? So we have to identify the existing problems and how it is causing for the peoples or any kind of things, and what will be the solution for this. Now, same way, Reach 52 was started with the problem identification. So in a whole world, there are 52% of the people they can't able to get a proper healthcare things, and they can't able to reach with the medicines, vaccination, diagnostics. There are many kind of the healthcare things they can't able to reach because of many reasons. One is they were very lack with the internet connectivity. They were not educated with, and they were not connecting with the any like educated peoples. Because of that, this 52% of people they can't able to reach the healthcare presentation, healthcare services. So because of this, they can't able to reach the healthcare services in time. So they were committing with the different disabilities, lost opportunities, and they were missing with the communicating with the educated peoples. They were not getting a good health facilities in rural areas. So for this is the cause. So for that, the Reach 52 find a solution to reach the rural areas with the some good healthcare services, how with the offline services. In most of the regions, they were not knowing the internet connectivity, they were not know the smartphones itself. So for them, it is very hard to order the medicines and connect in the doctors. So because of that, Reach 52 targeted with the internal agents. Agents were going to the rural areas. They were connecting to the residents, those who are very uneducated and they don't know the how the healthcare things will work and what will be the reason for the diseases. They were our Reach 52 agents were training them with a health health guidance, and this is how the Reach 52 is working. Uh, So, what is the purpose of Reach 52? The purpose of Reach 52 is we need to provide a healthcare for the 52% of the people, those who are not accessible for the health. So, our vision is the healthcare services we need to provide within a range. Basically, the poor people they can't able to afford with the huge money to get a healthcare services. In this sense, the vision is we have to serve these healthcare services which is within a affordable prices. That is our main Reach 52 vision is. And where we work, actually we are working in different countries in the world, like Singapore, India, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, Kenya, and UK. And our offices like a hubs. Actually, we are going to the rural areas. We are creating a hubs. Through that hubs, we are uh, training our agents through, and agents were correcting the resident data, and they were guiding with the healthcare diseases. So what will be the cause for the disease? All those things they were training for the resident rural areas. And how we are promoting our the goal in our rural areas. We are connecting the growth partners. It is like a private sector guys or NGO kind of a things, or any community based organization. We are contacting them and we are proposing what is our idea and how Reach 52 healthcare is helping in our rural areas. So through them we are connecting the rural areas and we are serving our service. How it works is actually we are recruiting a partner, growth partner, as I told now. So there are a lot of private sectors and NGOs, private and community based organizations. We are connecting them, and basically agents in the sense the healthcare services, healthcare workers in the government hospitals or in a private hospital. There are many ASHA workers will be there. We are connecting them and we are training them with the our software, and we are equipping with the our platform. So how the platform is, what is the data we need to collect from the resident, those kind of a data we are collecting through the our agents. And scalable services is the sense. Actually, we need to give a proper instruction to the government or private sector, because there are a lot of terms and conditions will be there. Directly, we can't collect the health based information from the rural areas. So through that, we are training with the private sectors and organizations and NGOs, and as well as the government organizations as well. This is how the RH52 is work. Actually, how when it goes to our tech is work is, we have a agents. Our agent, we are creating a one login credentials for them. They were logging into the our RH52 access model. This is our application, RH52 app. They were logging into the our app, and they were creating a resident with their personal details and our health their health issues. And in case if they were undergoing with any medications, so we are collecting their medication data. And finally we are like calculating in case they were suffering from any diseases, we are finding the root cause for that disease, and we are providing medicine for them. So after registering a resident, we can do a vaccination. So actually here insurance, we can provide the insurance policy to them, medication, health log, and the profile information. Profile information in the sense we are using some COBA form of a thing. This like emergency for purposes, we are using a COBA forms. Through that COBA forms, we are specific health questionnaires we are asking them. So we are collecting those health related questions from the resident. So then after that we are collecting we are finding the root cause for the diseases. Basically, as I told, the agents for a health workers, they know they have little bit knowledge about the health system, so they can immediately provide the medicines to them. So educate this application is not for the end users. The end users, basically they were in a rural area, the rural area, and they were lack of internet connectivity. They don't know the smartphones instead. So our agents going to the rural areas, and they were serving the insurance policies, medications, and any kind of the health related services if they need it. Then through our app, agents were providing to the rural areas, rural residents. So basically, when we start with the Reach 52, we have started with the one application called Marketplace application. So now it is deprecated. Now we are come up with the Reach 52 Access app. That is what I explained in a previous slide. So the previous application, it is pointed to the Couchbase, and we have Kobo Forms in that as well. And it is a Firebase. It is included, and it is supporting. There are the two different modules in the previous application. There is a MAMS and CAMS. MAMS is Marketplace Access Managers, and CAMS is Community Access Managers. MAMS, they were just registering the residents, and CAMS, they were providing health related services to the residents. That is what it is happening in the previous application. But due to some reasons, we are combining all MAMs and CAMs in a single app, and now we are coming up with a new and fully modified application now as a Reach 52 Access app. Now it is in live, and to implement this app, we are using Kotlin, MongoDB Run, Koboform, Firebase, and Ternavo. So MongoDB drill basically our application should work 100% offline kind of a thing. Because of that, we are using MongoDB drill and Kobo forms in case any immediate situations. If we need to add any health related questionnaires, we can't able to deploy, we can't able to modify the our database or our application immediately. So for that purpose, we're using Kobo forms. We can immediately updating into the Kobo toolbar. It is available for the users. And Firebase, we are using to track the orders, and we have a different module called ADB vaccination program. For that vaccination program, we are sending in-app messages where the our vaccination program is conducting, and what is the purpose of vaccination program. Those kind of in-app messages we are sending to the Firebase. And Turnivo, it is a WhatsApp messaging tool. This we are using for an immediate purpose, like in case if the user has found any kind of symptoms, they can directly get whether that symptoms it particularly depends on a particular disease. For example, if I have fever, is it fever related to the COVID? or is it a normal kind of a fever? For that, they have to just enter the options. Like we are giving multiple options to them. If they select any of them, so based on that we are calculating. Then we are displaying them. Is it like any particular disease, or if there is a normal fever or something? That purpose we are using Turnitin. And actually, in a previous application, we are using say a different logins for the MAMS and CAMS. In the new application, we are using a single login for MAMS and CAMS. These are like two different applications, like Android application. When it comes to app, we have Access and Insight and Logistic application. Access, what it will do is actually, as I explained you, in case agent or our ASHA health workers doesn't know the what is root cause, or if they are not knowledge about the particular diseases, we are providing some information through the access web applications, so they can our agents can read the blogs. It is from the doctors, or it is from the like any public platforms, or any public blogs. We are pulling the data from the outside, as from the doctors. We are putting into the access web application, so that so agents can go to the information. They may much aware of the disease, or they know much knowledge about the diseases. Those kind of information we are submitting in access. When it comes to insight, so the super admin can able to see the resident who are registered in a particular area. So there are different kind of a search options we are using it, providing in an insight web application. When it comes to logistics, actually, when we order for a medicine for a particular resident, so we can able to track. So after ordering a medicine, so once our agents is searching in a local pharmacies, they were taking that medicine, and they can update the status with a pending to the delivery, or dispatch it, or it is rejected, some kind of a option change status changes. They can do it in a logistics web application. And this is the ADB vaccination program. For now, we are working on this one, ADB vaccination program. And Philippines government, actually, they were waiting for this module. It is very interesting module, actually. In a rural areas, there is a lot of healthcare services, and they don't know about this COVID until it become very huge. They were not aware of all those things. Even now, if you go to some rural areas, rural areas, you tell them this is a COVID, they were not bother about what it is. So for that, actually, we are providing 100% offline kind of a vaccination program with collecting all their records. How it is working is there are three different modules in the ADB vaccine. ADB means Asian Development Bank has initiated this vaccination program. So for them, we are developing this module. Our super admin as creating a vaccination program, and there is a campaign admins over there, and vaccination providers are three different modules. Super admins were creating just a program, and our campaign admins, they were adding the which vaccinations which is available for that particular vaccination program. It is not only for the COVID vaccination. There are different kind of vaccines available for the like patient. So those kind of a vaccination programs we are creating it. So the campaign admins, they were adding the vaccines which is available for that particular vaccine. So after that, they were launching that vaccination program. After launching that vaccination program, it is available for the agents in a particular region. For example, if we are launching that vaccination program for the India, for India agents, that vaccination program is available. So they can basically, they are already registered with the resident. Just they need to add those residents to the vaccination program. And again, in this module, there are two different kinds. One is they can, like now it is running like vaccination. There is no need to pre-register. They can directly come and they can vaccinate. And one is appointment. Take an appointment and go to that particular venue and took a vaccination. Those two modules we are implemented in our ADP vaccination program. The tech challenges, actually, there are different kind of a tech challenges we faced while migrating the data from Couchbase to the MongoDB. Basically, the old application which is pointed to the Couchbase, and a new Android application which is pointed to the MongoRel. So in Mongo realm, actually realm and Mongo, it is totally a combined one. So in case any object it is mismatched or any data type is it is mismatched, there is a cause called as a sync stop. If sync stops, whatever we are doing it offline, it is storing in a middleware, but it won't push back to the Atlas. So those kind of issues where we are going to face in case if you're not migrating data properly. And again, in a new application, we maintain a different architecture and different structure, database structure. So for that, actually, we use Python to migrate our database. And again, the realm sync stop issue. This is like a very major issue. What will happen when initial stage we don't know uh, the cause. And one more disadvantage is Mongo Realm is we can validate our schemas up to 1,000 records. After that, in case in a 1,001 record or 1,015th record, in case any data mismatch or any invariant schema it is there, then it is not validating that particular record. That is the one disadvantage is there in a Mongo the schema validation. So to identify that particular record, what is the issue and why it is causing that leads to the realm sync stop issue. For now, we developed some kind of a scripts to validate all the data types, everything. So that is our major issue we faced, and now it is fine. Now it is working fine. And data loss issue. Actually, this is happen when realm sync has stopped. Basically, Realm Sync is a middleware. It is connecting between the Realm and as well as the MongoDB Atlas. If Realm Sync stops because of any reason, like schema mismatch or data validation issue, any kind of a reason, if Realm Sync stops, we can able to operate our Android application properly. So we can able to see the residents, we can able to add the resident, we can edit it, we can do all the operations, but it won't sync back to the central DB. So this is because of this reason we are going to miss when we restart the realm. So we are going to miss the data which we are added, and it is not synced to the central DB. Those data we are going to miss. So for that, what we did actually, in case we are identifying whether sync is running or not. If it is not running, we are identifying in an app like whether particular data it is synced or not. If it is not synced, then we are storing in a somewhere in a cache storage, and after restart, we are pushing back that data to the MongoDB Atlas. And auto logout issue actually in a Mongo realm is in a like very initial stage. It is not fully stable yet, but they were implementing fine now. So in our initial stage, automatically the application become a logout. So again, the user need to relog in again. But our agents in rural area, they can't able to access the internet connectivity. So there they are facing a lot of issues. They can't able to log in and they can't able to profile. So those kind of issues we are facing it for now. So after communicating with the Mongo support team, we got an update. Now it is working fine. So again, Realm instance issue, it is happening in the initial stage. Like so, first thing when we log in, Realm is creating one instance, and again in the next time when we reopen the app, we are not generating or we are not logging again with the HTTP connection. Directly, we are taking the existing instance, and through that instance, we are just moving with the main pages. But this was the issue. It is the Realm is not initiating, so it is stuck in a splash screen. That was the issue we faced earlier, but now we resolved it after connecting with the MongoDB support team, and we updated SDKs. Now it is working fine. Offline login implementation.
Hi,
Offline login implementation.
Anil. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I think we're running a little bit short of time. Maybe we can speed up a little bit. Yeah, so that we can actually cover the more technical portion. Yeah, thanks, Anil. Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry for that. Yeah. Thanks for that. Sorry, I just escaped it because of that. Yeah. Yeah. This is offline insurance. Actually, presently we are facing this issue like offline insurance. There is a terms and condition in a different countries to provide an insurance for a resident. We have to take an OTP verification kind of a thing or digital signature kind of a thing, signature kind of a thing. But in offline mode, we can't able to send a OTP and we can't able to verify the profile. This is what the present issue we are facing, but we are running with some workaround for this one. I think that soon we're going to solve this. Actually, my experience with the different applications is actually before coming to the Mongo realm, we manually writing lot of codes, and we are maintaining our own triggers to check whether the particular object is in which mode, whether if the particular object is updated or deleted or new profile is inserted. We are using some time constraint kind of a thing. Through the time constraint, we are getting the data. Those kind of challenges we are faced before coming to the MongoDB, MongoDB, or Couchbase DP. These are like my previous applications. I faced this issue in my last company. So now, yeah, there are a lot of things like app performance, battery consumptions, everything. I need to handle it manually. But now, Realm is taking care of everything. So sorry. Now the main topics for today is application of a Firebase. So Firebase we are using in our application to track our medicines and update the status and to send the FCM notification to the agents. Basically, Firebase it is storing in a real time, and we are sending a location to the agent, like agents in a real time. There are delivery application and as well as the agents through that delivery app. We are sending location to the agents. Agent they can able to track the our now the where is the product is, and they can intimate to the they can call to the resident particular resident, so they can have available in a home, they can receive the product. For that we are using a Firebase RTDB. And offline, actually Firebase it's support for offline. In case if there is no internet connectivity, it will store in a cache, and again it will support for up to 10 MB of the space. In case if it is crosses 10 MB, then it the data which is not synced to the Firebase, that data it will clear and it will free up some space. And it is not relevant like in case, um, for that we need to set a some set persistent enable true in a code to enable offline kind of a thing. But even after that, in case app restarts, in some cases, there is a chances to miss the data. For that, we need to handle it manually to checking the connectivity. There is the different kind of a listeners will be there. To that listeners, we can check whether it is in a connective state or a disconnect state. If it is a disconnected, get the data and store it in somewhere, and after connecting back, we can push that data to the Firebase RTDB. That is architecture we are doing it, and accessible to the different clients, different devices. Actually, we can access it from the web, and we can access from the different Android applications from real-time basis, and we can do the operations based on that, and we can set some set of rules and a read or write set of rules. We can set it in a Firebase or TDB. Yeah, Firebase Analytics. Actually, Firebase Analytics, Engage, and Crashlytics we are using in our application. Real time application means we can check the app where it is using, which countries and how many users are using it. Those kind of a real time analytics we can check it in a Firebase. And event actually there is a default of events. It is already providing from Firebase. We are using some custom event, like how much profiling it is happened through the agent in a particular agent, and the insurance it is happened, and the orders it is happened, everything we're tracking through the event in a debug view. In case it is in a running in a rural area, in case any device specific issues that is happening through in our app, we are using debug view and we are tracking the issues. And to authenticate the token authentication purpose, we're using the Firebase and Test Lab to test the applications on a different devices and a different configuration. Crashlytics, of course, is the default one. In-app messaging, we are using it for to send a campaign kind of thing in case of any vaccination programs it is happening. So then we are using an app messaging and cloud messaging to check the order statuses, and sending the message notification to the agents. We are using a cloud message. Yeah, this is how actually some screenshot like I prepared for. This is like a campaign. So in case any vaccination program campaign it is happened through the my in-app messaging, we are sending this kind of a messages to the agents so that they can register. And this is like a cloud messaging. We are sending order status in case if it is delivered or rejected or placed. So we are sending these cloud messages. What is actually it is Realm is a local DB, so that is how that is what we are in. There is a different kind of a local DBs are there. SQLite is there, SQLite by default. So again, green device is there, object box is there, and room is there. There are different kind of databases, but we are using a Realm. Why? Because this is like very lightweighted data, and again it is combining with the MongoDB Atlas. No need to write any manual kind code to sync the data and fetch the data. Because of that, we are using a Realm, and it is available for the different languages: Objective C, Java, Kotlin, C Sharp, and JavaScript. Why we are using Delp is it is very intuitive to the developer, so it is very less coding. We can create our entity. Through that entity, we can directly communicate with the MongoDB Atlas, and no need to create any relational module here. So it is taking care of everything. And why the main purpose is our application, it is running in a 100% offline kind of a thing. So here in MongoDB Realm, first is offline, then it is syncing back. It is not connecting, checking any internet connectivity first. It will store the data. Again, it is pushing that data to the central DB, and built basically it is, so especially it is built for a mobile, and it is very lightweight, and it uses very less memory, disk space, and battery life. So and object oriented programming. This is like a some code snippet. So how to create an object, how to map with the different objects, and how to initiate the realm, and how to get an instat, and how to execute the uh, object. Those kind of how to insert the all the code snippet I did here. And reactive apps. Actually, it is like, for example, if I updated something in a some page, it will automatically reflect in the relevant pages. Of course, we can freeze that element also. For that, this is the code snippet, and it is fully encrypted. Basically, we are collecting the health related data, so this is very um, like personal kind of a thing. So we need to encrypt the data. So this is by default it is providing the encryption method here. So we need to just enable the with the encryption key. If we make it encryption as enabled, then we can't able to hack the data from the local DBs. Yeah, there are many other reasons why we are using RAM. It is for fast querying. So because it is zero copy architecture model they were implemented, so we can run a complex queries within a microsecond. Transferred from one database we can create, and we can share with the multiple platforms. And it is mainly it is a open source, and it is provided under the license Apache 2.0. Data sync, actually, yeah, it is syncing the data default by the SDKs, or no manual code it is required in a data sync model. This is our Realm sync. It is works. So first, it is synchronizing the data between the clients and the Mongoose, and it enable the offline first. So first it is storing the offline. Again, it is push it back to the central DB when network is available. So conflict resolution, there is a one challenge in a Realm sync is, for example, which data, because multiple of agents are working in the same object, how to resolve the conflict. So here there is a set of rules in a conflict resolution. They were using operation transformation algorithm to resolve this issue. So by default, delete as a primary, the first priority rule. So if the delete option is there, then that object will be deleted. And second, it is sorting on the based on the updated time. So which is the latest one, that data it is writing to the DB. So those kind of a conflict resolution architecture it is using. Yeah, and as I told, there is no manual code required to push and pull the data. So client SDK is handling the data. Yeah, yeah. This is how actually this is a central DB, the MongoDB realm, and we are working with a different OSs like Android, iOS, and the realm it is working as a middleware, and it is pulling the data from the applications and it pushing back to the admins. Yeah, combinedly MongoDB realm. See, before MongoDB realm, we need to create a different endpoint to get a data and push back. Now MongoDB realm. So through this MongoDB realm, the SDK itself handles everything. So these are like some references I used to create this. Yeah.
Okay, so did you and your team have to migrate from using a different store to Realm? And how long did the effect take? And what was the last tool used?
Actually, we are not used any tool to migrate our data from the previously we are using our own database, local DB, not a root previous marketplace application. So here we are using a rel. So to that, we are using Python script to migrate all the data, because in a new application we use the different architecture and the data structure. So to map that, there is no default tool to map with our data structure. Because of that, we use my Python script. So the script we migrated the data.